it's been a cool year for you as a dad. You've had a son, your daughter gets married, and did your other son graduate?
Graduated high school and starting at the university. So yeah, you've got, boy, 3 life-changing events, all packed in the, just the craziest time of our lives, just throw that on top of COVID and everything else we're dealing with. So yeah, lots of cool things.
What was that like? What order did they go? Graduation, baby, marriage?
No, baby, marriage, then graduation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the graduation's kind of weird because they haven't really done it yet. I mean, it's coming up. He's got his party coming up, but I guess the baby, the wedding was first announced, and then the baby was the first to happen, and then the wedding was in the middle, and the graduation, of course, which we know has been impending for the better part of a year. So it's almost like you're anticipating the things in the reverse order that you knew they were coming. So kind of fun. They're all, emotional in all their unique ways. I thought I would be ready for the wedding. I was not even close to emotionally prepared for that. And then, the difference this little guy has between my 18-year-old son and the technology that's changed, all the cool inventions that didn't exist 18 years ago when we were changing diapers and putting them down at night and tracking them technology-wise. It's just it's been an emotional roller coaster in a good way.
How does the perception of being a dad in your mind change when you're dealing with your older ones and your younger ones?
Well, just the perspective has changed so much. When I'm dealing with him, when Abby was little, the firstborn, of course, you're so unprepared. There's not you can read every book on Barnes and Noble shelves and have all the child development classes you want in high school, but nothing prepares you for what it's like. So, and you're so worried that you're doing it wrong the entire time. And then the second one comes along and, you're completely dismissive. Oh, don't worry about the helmet. Oh, don't worry about putting the locks out. Oh, he'll be fine. You stop taking as many pictures. And then you get this massive gap of 18 years. So they're all unique. They're all special. But obviously this one, I'm just way more prepared. I've got more usable data, more knowledge. We've been talking about that a lot during this COVID. The more information you have and the more experience you have, the better decisions you're probably going to make. So just this one, the time that I've been able to spend with him, comparatively to the 2 others, that just life was happening at a much faster pace. So being able to enjoy all the things and the routines and the cool moments with this one have been extra special.
Let's talk about that and what it's like being a dad and a coach. And a head coach who a lot of time is dedicated to recruiting, to coaching, to traveling. What is that like? Because it's a completely different perspective.
Yeah, and they are like daughters. All these, I put the picture out of Chelsea with the little brother across the sleeve, and they all feel that way. I mean, the texts I've been getting are really cool, and I certainly look at those as extended daughters. The ones that we have on our current team, the ones that I've had coaching now for the last 21 years in college, I'm still keeping up with them. So it's an extended family. And when you put all that together, I think it helps me be a better coach, and I think it helps me be a better dad. There's no question in my mind. I look at things through so many different lenses, and just the love that you feel for them. It's what allows them to be able to make a mistake in the general public's eyes, but in your eyes, as long as they've told you about it and are honest with you, they really can't do any wrong. So it's just a neat thing to have the experiences of having so many other daughters in my life, and now the 2 boys.
How did your kids take it growing up? With you having to be gone or whatever, or was it like, hey, Dad's a coach, we know that this is the drill?
No, I think there were some tough moments, and I've talked to my daughter a lot about it, and she did a little video for Razorback Sports when I took this job, and there were a lot of times that were tougher on her than I ever really knew, not being able to be there. I missed a lot of things, parties and events and choir concerts and things like that. But we've talked about it. I don't think, and I've tried to instill this in them, I don't think you can achieve excellence in anything without having a rhythm. I think balance is one of those things that gets talked about a lot, and a lot of people search for it. I'm just not sure it's capable. I'm just not sure it's possible. And I think they know that, and I want them to see that it's not going to be equal, but it's got to be quality. And they have started to see that. The older they got, the trips became more meaningful, and the time together became more meaningful. So hopefully those moments have been instilled in them, but it doesn't make them any easier at the time when they look up and, dad's not at the choir concert or dad's not at the gymnastics meet. So it is something, I think it's harder on the parent, to be honest with you. I agonized over those things, not being able to be there, but I said to them each, and after the moments with my daughter at the wedding, how much those moments were worth it. That wedding doesn't happen unless some of those sacrifices, the last, 24 years of her life, she had made. So, when you look at the pictures, you're going to see I didn't skimp on anything. I went all out because she sacrificed a lot of times along the way for me. And now that she's old enough to talk about it, I hope she'll be able to be a big sister for this little guy over here when, he has to miss me at certain things along the way too.
How much did it mean to you? I know taking the Arkansas job was a dream job, coming back here to your home state, but to be closer to Abby. I know that she was in school here. I mean, I know that this job was a big deal, but I know being able to be with her and being down the road from her was a big deal.
It wouldn't have made all those moves and packing up the boxes and missing the things worth it unless I had been here, during that time for her. I was coming in right as she was finishing her freshman year. She'd gotten a chance to kind of establish her own identity and her own life on campus, and got a chance to be here during that time. I talked to her about it. I asked her point blank. I said, I will not take this job as much as it means to me and as important it is. I will not take this job if it's going to somehow be hard on you, because it's not easy. I don't care how many games you're winning or losing. It's hard when your dad's the coach. It was harder in her sorority. It was harder everywhere she went. So I didn't want to infringe upon that, but she opened it up. She said, this is why we've done what we've done. This is why you've moved the number of times. Absolutely. So to be able to have her around for those moments, she's been able to come to a number of our games, road trips, be at the different events and the different functions. And then obviously I'm able to attend more things of hers. I don't get to have my hands on this wedding. I just got through wrapping up. I just finished this. This was the end of the Abby Butch 2020. I just put a final touch to it today. I don't get that chance. I don't get that opportunity. I don't get to be here to teach my son Alec how to tie a tie before his first, date where he was going to wear a tie. I don't get a chance to, take him down to get his truck and things like that. So those things, and then to look up over at a game and know they're back there, win or lose, and see them down that tunnel, it makes all those sacrifices worth it.
All right. So I've had a wedding, so I know how emotional it is with the dad and daughter connection. What was hard? Was it walking down the aisle, seeing her for the first time in the dress, or the dance? What was hardest?
Yeah. First look 1, the dance 2, and down the aisle 3. And I was a blubbering idiot in all 3 of them. They completely set me up. The photographer, Justin Palmer, they brought me out for this first look thing, and it was an outdoor wedding up at the Holland Barn, and I was outside, and the cameras were there, And by the way, there's a difference between a videographer and a photographer. There's two different people, 2 different crews, and 2 different bills, just for anybody planning one of these at home. But they had the cameras on me, and they handed me the gift that my daughter had given me, and it was a handkerchief that she had written a note on that I might need later on. And what I didn't know this whole time, as they're trained in on me, I'm thinking, okay, they're looking for a reaction here, so let's give them something. I'm kind of reading it. What I didn't know this whole time, she was walking up from behind me, and like they're capturing this on video, and I can't hear her, I don't see her. And right as I finished reading that note, she said, "Hey, Daddy," and it looked like the cartoons when tears start squirting out of people's eyes. That was what got me. So I blamed it on allergies. It was an outside wedding, so I had an out, but that was just the beginning. The daddy-daughter dance, I was good through the first part. We started with Fishing in the Dark and did a little Alan Jackson, Little Bitty, which is one of her favorite songs. But when we got to Lion King, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, I was back to allergies, that's for sure. But no, you're right. First Look 1, Daddy Daughter Dance 2, and then The Owl was not much better. Just was, you got to rank them 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have best of both worlds. You're a father of a daughter and then 2 sons now. What is easier?
Well, my son was easier so far. I'm not gonna throw Bowen into that because right now he's been the model, 5-week-old for sure. Alec was so independent, so on his own, so self-soothing. Started tucking himself in at 18 months, but that's because we let him cry himself to sleep too. I slept with my hand on my daughter's chest for the first 6 months of her life because I had read too many books about what could happen at nighttime, and so. The boy was way easier. Took him a little bit longer to potty train. Probably less time consuming, but neither one easy. But I'd have to give the nod to Alex so far if I'm ranking him so far as ease of getting to college. We'll see how he does in college. I don't know. He's going to be right here with me for 4 years, so I'll get a pretty good. I have a pretty good scorecard going on him.
What's your best piece of advice for new dads or anyone who's just, I mean, again, maybe my husband who's got a 3-year-old and got a lot ahead of us, your best piece of advice?
Just that, they're yours. They are yours. And they're going to be a reflection of how you treat them for the rest of their lives. So I just always wanted to be there for them, and I think that time thing, whether it's physically, whether it's answering their texts, whether it's answering their calls, sometimes it's sending notes that go unanswered, letters that go unanswered. And then, keeping up the memories. I had a box full of pictures that I put into a book to give her for her gift. Just cherish every single moment of that because they are yours. There's not very many things in this life that are really yours. You may own some things. You may have some property that have your name attached to it, but they're yours. So keep mementos. Don't let people tell you that you should throw. I had Abby's report cards. I had the first pages she brought home from school. She's disinterested in them, but I love to have them. So keep as many memories as you can. They are you. They're a reflection of you, and it's your job as dad and a parent to make sure that they know the difference between what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. So you got to take it really seriously. It's going to be a challenge. You don't get it right. And no, give yourself some slack too. You're not going to get it right every time. But the one piece of advice I would give is this, and I know I said a lot of things. I have always tried to react exactly the opposite of the way they expected me to. Like when Abby would come to me with something that she felt I was going to be and frustrated with her about, or ashamed of her, or disappointed in her, I kind of tried to go the other direction with it. And then likewise, when they came, chest out, hey, look what I did. I was, okay, let's calm down a little bit here. We didn't cure cancer today or anything. So I just tried to have always reacted in a manner that maybe they weren't expecting a little bit, just so that they know if I'm going to trust them to make decisions, you have to allow them to make decisions and fail. Let them fail. And then show them that it's not going to be something that they can't overcome. If you love them and you trust them, it's the only way that they're going to be ready when the real challenges of life come about. If I'm constantly out there preparing the path for them, clearing the path of all these obstacles, get this out of the way, let's make this easy, then they're not ready when I'm not there. And that path gets tough. So prepare them for the path. Don't prepare the path for them.
I love it. Now, since I have one basketball related question.
Go.
Okay. Yeah. So I know your girls came back to voluntary workouts, I guess 2 weeks ago. I know you can't have any interaction with them.
Right.
But have you gotten any feedback from them or from your strength staff about how things are going?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if this is even fair for you to ask a sports related question anymore in light of your recent announcement. So congratulations.
Thank you.
First and foremost, but I am going to hold you to it that this means more trips with the basketball team.
Yes.
I have talked to them, and I talk to Coach Dave all the time, and they post videos of them working out. I think it's business as normal. I mean, there's some accommodations. Obviously, we've got some challenges with the protocols, but I think everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. I will tell you this, we weren't in any rush to come back. We don't normally do anything in June anyway. Like if you look back at the last 3 years, June is kind of our downtime, as was, May. So this all hit during the time when we weren't doing a whole lot of basketball stuff. We have a lot of seniors that are very anxious to perform well their senior year. So they've been staying in shape. I've seen them. I've seen almost everybody that's been in town. I communicate weekly with a letter and with a few. We've only done one Zoom. I'm really proud of that. Everybody's like, how many Zooms have y'all done? So we just done one as a team. But we've stayed connected. Distance doesn't mean you have to disconnect. It just means you're doing it from apart. So I think it's been the hardest on is our freshmen. Mm-hmm. The incoming freshmen, because they get this, 17-year ramp up of what college is supposed to feel like. And man, I'm going to report to my dorm and I'm going to move in and we're going to do this. And man, I can't wait for my gear. And then it's just halt. Mm-hmm. So, it's making sure that those three incoming freshmen are the most, are as prepared as they can be. And they've had years and years to look forward to it. And I put those two things side by side up against each other because we had the transfer coming all the way from Oregon State. And she drove her car all the way across the country. And she's been completely independent. She's got her place on her own. She got everything done on her own. She didn't need any help from any of us because she's been through it already. And then you see these freshmen who are just like, I can't wait to get there and get started because they've got this 17-year buildup in there. But everybody's doing good. I think the workouts are certainly going to ramp up to what we're going to be trying to get done in July. But I certainly want to make sure every person felt the most comfortable coming back from the situations they were in. And so far, we're so good.
I'll tell you, I was leaving the building and, we've got Insomnia Cookies downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm leaving and these three girls walk across the street and I drive and I realize it's Macy, Jalen, and Roe. And I go, I'm pretty sure cookies are not on your basketball diet. And I'm going to tell on you.
Well, it is a good way during June. They can make it during June and July for sure. And those three right there, they could probably eat a whole bunch of those cookies, and their metabolism is going to take care of it. So they probably needed that. So yeah. You probably should have. If you'd seen me and Coach Todd walking across there, you might have tried to keep us out of there. But those three right there, they had no problem with them handling it. So
Todd lives at Mamaca. I want to see him at Insomnia Cookie. He's at Mamaca if I ever need to run into Todd.
No, he's helping too. If you run as many miles. I think he ran more miles last week than I've ran in the last 30 years of my life. I just don't get I don't get the running.
I'm not a runner.
I'm not a runner at all either.
They've been promoting this Miles for Mercy and Dan and like Eric Musselman and Mariah. They're all excited. They always do it coming into sports. They'll come to me and I'm like, running is for the birds. Yep. Next.
Like, give me a checkbook. I'll write a check for those people and go watch and pass out water. But my heart's only got so many beats left in it. I'm not going to waste it on a mini marathon or something like that. So I'll support those people and more power to them. It's just I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I'm not a runner either. All right, that's all I had for you, Coach. Enjoy your day. Any special plans for tomorrow?
Abby's coming down and Alex coming down, and I'm sure Bowen will sleep for about 16 hours. But
cool.
I think we'll probably eat someplace and maybe do a little golfing or something fun.
There you go.
No, it's every day feels like Father's Day around these guys.
I bet. Yeah. Well, enjoy it.
Okay.
You deserve it. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. See you.
See ya.